Hi guys, welcome to Dosage Calc Practice Problem Set 3, Pediatrics. So these are all pediatric related math problems. There are 20 problems, and for all the problems, the rounding rule is if the answer is greater than 1, we'll round to the tenths, less than 1, we'll round to the hundredths. So I'm going to get through these as quickly as possible. Pause and rewind as needed. Okay, so number 1, prescriber orders cephalexin 250 PO 4 times a day. Child weighs 50 pounds. You've got these capsules on hand. Recommended daily dosage is 25 to 50 milligrams per kilogram per day in divided doses every 6 hours. What's the safe and therapeutic range for this child? So every 6 hours, so that's 4 times a day. 6 times 4 is 24. So this is in divided doses, our order is daily. I am going to figure this out for dose. So minimum and maximum milligrams per kilogram per dose is really what I want to know, because that's what my order's in. So minimum milligrams per dose is what I want to know. I've got 25 milligrams per kilogram per day is my minimum range. That gives me milligrams. Kilogram, I know that 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And my child weighs 50 pounds. Always going to put your weight or BSA over 1. That gets rid of pounds. I've got day, I need dose. I know that 1 day is 4 doses. That gave us dose. Day canceled out. All right, we can do the math. 25 times 50 divided by 2.2 divided by 4 equals 142.05. We're going to round to the tenths, so we're just going to be at 142 milligrams per dose. Our max milligrams per dose. On these range questions, if you've done the minimum correctly, then max is pretty easy. You just plug in the maximum dose. Everything else is going to be unchanged. Oops. Writing too fast there. $50 times 50 divided by 2.2 divided by 4 equals 284.1 milligrams per dose. So there's our range. Is the order safe? Our order's for 250, so yes, it's safe. 250 falls between 142 and 284.1. And if yes, how many capsules will the nurse administer? So now I want to know caps per dose. And I know that 1 capsule is 250 milligrams. And I know, oh, I've got 250 milligrams. I didn't really have to do the math on this one, did I? Per dose equals 1 cap per dose. Okay. All right, next one. What's the safe and therapeutic range for this child for digoxin? Our minimum is, we want to know milligrams per dose, per day. Back it up. Milligrams per day. So that's what we've got ordered. All right, 0.035 milligrams per kilogram per day. That leaves me with milligrams a day. Just need to get rid of that kilogram. 1 kilogram is 6.5 pounds. Oh my goodness, back it up. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, and our patient weighs 6.5 pounds. Ay, ay, ay. Wake up, T. This is why we use pencils when we take exams. 0.035 times 6.5 divided by 2.2 equals 0.1. It's 0.103. So if I want to round to the hundredths, I'm going to say 0.1 because I don't want to end in a 0. Remember, you don't want that trailing 0 after the decimal point. Do my math again real quick here. Okay, so I'm looking, I'm like, 12.5 milligrams PO daily, and I'm coming out with 0.1. So let's just double check and make sure that's multiplying everything correctly. Dividing as we should. 2.2 equals 0.1. Okay. Max. Our max milligrams per day is 0.06 milligrams per kilogram per day. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Patient weighs 6.5 pounds. It's going to be 0.06 times 6.5 divided by 2.2 equals 0.18 milligram per day. Okay, so there's our range. Is the order safe? No, absolutely not. This is way out of range. All right, we have an order for diphenhydramine 25 IVQ6. There's what we have available. Recommended daily dosage is this per day in 4 divided doses. What's the safe and therapeutic dosage? So I want to know our per dose range on this one. So minimum, what's our minimum milligrams per dose? Okay. Oops, it's not a range, sorry. Not a range, just a therapeutic dose. Okay. So what's a therapeutic milligrams per dose? 5 milligram per kilogram per day. And 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. I was just kind of take it one step at a time. Get rid of kilograms, let's get rid of pounds. 50 pounds over 1. Pounds. I need dose, I've got day. 1 day is 6 hours, so that would be 4 doses. Okay. So 5 times 50 divided by 2.2 divided by 4 equals 28.4 milligrams per dose. So that's our therapeutic dose. And our orders for 25. So yes, we are safe. 25 is definitely below 28. And if yes, how many milliliters will the nurse prepare? So second part is milliliters per dose. And we know that 1 ml is 12.5 milligrams. Our dose is for 25 milligrams per dose. That's going to be 2 mLs per dose. All right. Okay, we've got an order for Ceftonir 70 PO BID. There's our recommended dose. Here's what we have available. Is our order safe and therapeutic? All right, so how many milligrams per dose is safe and therapeutic? Well, it's 14 milligrams per kilogram per day. Which is, our weight is in pounds again. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Child weighs 22 pounds. Okay, we've got rid of kilograms, we've got rid of pounds. And 1 day is 2 doses. Day dose, okay. 14 times 22 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 70 milligrams per dose. So there's our therapeutic dose. And yes, prove your answer. We just did. Our order is for 70 milligrams PO twice a day, so we're right on the money there. If the dose is safe and therapeutic, how many mLs do we need? So we want to know milliliters per dose. And 5 mLs is 125 milligrams. That's what we have supplied. And so we've got mLs, and 70 milligrams per dose is what we have ordered. It's usually so quiet outside of my house. God. It's noisy in my house today, so I thought, well, I got to get this recorded. I'm going to come outside where it's nice and quiet. Doesn't seem to be working out that way, does it? All right, so 2.8 milliliters per dose is what we're going to administer. Okay, we have Cipro 300, Q12 hours. Our weight is in kilograms. Here's what we have available. There's our order. What is a safe and therapeutic 24-hour dosage range? So I want to know how many milligrams per day. Let's go with minimum. We've got a range here, so milligrams per day, because that's what we're being asked, right? And what is the single dose range? So we've got a 24-hour dose range and a single dose range. And I think actually, I'm gonna do this one a little bit. Let's say, let's start out with the milligrams per dose. There's more steps for the milligrams per dose than the milligrams per day, so I'm going to start out with that one. So we have 20 milligrams per kilogram per day. And our child weighs 30.3 kilograms. And 1 day is 2 doses. you're not going to have any problems on any test, math tests where they ask you for day range and single dose range, but it's good practice anyway, because you might have one or the other. So, alrighty, so kilogram, day, dose. All right, we're good to go. 20 times 30.3 divided by 2 equals 303 milligrams per dose, which also equals 606 milligrams per day. Put those both on here. Max. All right, milligrams per dose. Our max is 30 milligrams per kilogram per day. Everything else remains the same. I could have kind of really gone either way with this. You know, with the day, we would just skip this step if we were just figuring out the daily dose. We wouldn't do that divided by 2, or one day has 2 doses. But we're figuring out both ways, so we just divided by 2 and then not divided by 2. Okay, 30 times 30.3 divided by 2 equals 454.5 milligrams per dose. If I want to skip that step that I just did. 30 times 30.3, 30.3 equals 909 milligrams per day. Okay. All right, so we've got our 24-hour dose range or a single dose range, either one. How many milliliters are needed to deliver? Oh, I forgot to ask if that was safe. We've got 300 milligrams Q12 is what we have ordered. So 300 milligram dose, and that is a little hair less than the lowest dose in our therapeutic range, which is fine. And that's something, you know, it'd be kind of an odd thing to see 303 milligram dose, you know, maybe, but it's just rounded to the nearest larger number here. So we are just a touch out of range, but we're safe. We're just slightly below it. So we are safe. And how many milliliters are needed to deliver the ordered dose? So I want to know milliliters per dose. And I know that 5 mLs is 250 milligrams. And I've got 300 milligrams per dose. Y'all can do this with your eyes closed, right? Five times 300 divided by 250 equals 6 milliliters per dose. Okay. All right, we've got prednisolone 45 twice a day. Wait, that's what we have. Oral dosage divided by twice a day. Max dose. So we have a maximum dose on this in 24 hours. What is the safe and therapeutic dosage range for this child? Is the order safe? Would you administer this med? Okay. So let's see what our minimum is. And I want to know our minimum milligrams per dose. 0.5 milligrams per kilogram per day. And 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, 94 pounds. One day, it's going to be 2 doses. 0.5 times 94 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 10.7 milligrams per dose. Max is 2 milligrams per kilogram per day. Everything else remains the same. We have 2 times 94 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 42.7 milligrams per dose. All right, is the order safe? No. No, because 45 is greater than 42.7, which is our max dose. Also, maximum dosage is not to exceed 80 milligrams in 24 hours. And if you, you can eyeball that and look at that and you know that, well, we're giving 90 milligrams in 24 hours. So we're already over our daily max, but say this patient weighed more. If this patient were heavier, we'd have a higher minimum and maximum range, and we'd still, with this dose, we would still be exceeding that 80 milligrams per 24 hours maximum dose. So we would not administer this medication as ordered. Okay, number 7. Phenytoin 60, Q12, 40 pounds. What is the safe and therapeutic 24-hour dosage range for this child? Is the order safe? If yes, how many chew tabs will the nurse administer per dose? So I want to figure out our minimum milligrams per day. Because our order is in Q12, I actually want to figure out per dose and per day, just like we did a couple questions ago. Okay, 5 milligrams per kilogram per day. A little sloppy there. All right, our weight is in pounds again, which is 40 pounds. And we have 2 doses. We have 1 day, 2 doses. By 2 equals 45.5 milligrams per dose. That's our minimum. Or 90.1 milligrams per day. I just multiplied it back. Our max is, I write these questions, put them together, and I actually don't solve them before recording the work. And this is purposeful because I want you to see the process. I mean, if I have to figure them out, I think it's, you can hopefully kind of gather some of that thought process. And I know that, I might write something and go, oopsie, I didn't want to do it that way. But I kind of, I feel like that's okay because that's realistic. Oops. See, I just did it again. Talking and writing. Milligrams per kilogram per day. Okay. So that was our 7. Everything else is the same. 40 pounds. 1 day is 2 doses. And where's my laptop about to die? I swear I had it plugged in. Shoot. Okay. All right. Let me do the math real quick here. 7 times 40 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 63.6 milligrams per dose, or 127.3 milligrams per day. Okay, is the order safe? So our order is 60 milligrams POQ12. Oh, yes, it's absolutely safe. It falls right within that range. And if yes, how many chew tabs will the nurse administer per dose? So tabs per dose, we've got 1 tab is 30 milligrams. And we have 60 milligrams per dose. So we're going to have 2 tabs per dose. All right, I'm going to pause you for a second and run in, grab my charging cable. Okay, decided it was time for the umbrella too. Getting a little sunny and hot out here. All righty, so Vanco 750 IV Q6. Recommended dose. What dose per kilogram per 24 hours is the child receiving? Okay, so this question, and this is a little brain stretcher here. This question is looking at things kind of backwards, right, from what we're used to. This is just, you're probably not going to see a question like this on an exam again, but it's just to kind of stimulate your brain, get you thinking here. Okay, so what dose per kilogram per 24 hours is the child receiving? So I want to know how many milligrams per kilogram per day is this kid actually receiving? So I'm not looking at the range yet. I want to know about the actual dosing. So our child has 750 milligrams per dose. And we have 4 doses per day. And do that. Yikes. Okay, 4 doses per day. I have to think about this one too. All right, so doses. I want to end up with milligrams per kilogram per day. So I've got milligrams, got day, and now I need kilograms, and I need kilograms in the denominator, not in the numerator. So my patient's weight is in pounds, so I'm going to say 2.2 pounds is 1 kilogram. So that gave me kilograms. Now I need to get rid of that pound. So this is going to be a little flip-flop here. Rather than 68 over 1, we're just going to do 1 over 68. So that gets rid of our pounds. So I'm left with milligram, day, and kilogram. Okay. Our math here, 750 times 4 times 2.2 divided by 68 equals 97.1 milligrams per kilogram per day. All right. All right, so that's our dose per, dose per kilogram per day that the child is receiving. So now, is the order safe? Well, we look at our range, 40 to 60 milligram per kilogram per day is what the safe range is. Our child is receiving 97, so no, it is not. It is outside that safe range. All right. I'm guessing if you did these problems ahead of time, like you should have, you probably got to that question and went, what kind of crap is this? What is she asking for here? All right. So we have amoxicillin 300 POQ12. There's what we have. There's our range. What's the safe and therapeutic single dose range for this child? So minimum milligrams per dose is 25 milligrams per kilogram per day. Phone is making all kinds of noise. All right, so we've got milligrams. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. 42 pounds is our patient. And we have 1 day is 2 doses. Day, doses, there we go. 25 times 42 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 238.6 milligrams per dose minimum. Max is milligrams per dose, 50 milligram per kilogram per day. Nothing else changed here. Fifty times 42 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 477.3 milligrams per dose. Okay. Oh, I forgot to ask what if the dose was safe, but if we look at that, we've got 300 milligrams, 300 milligram doses, which is within our therapeutic range, so we're good there. How many mLs are needed to deliver the ordered dose? So how many milliliters per dose? We know that 5 milliliters is 125 milligrams. And we've got 300 milligrams per dose. These problems probably didn't used to seem simple, but I'm guessing this part of the problem seems pretty easy to you guys by now. Divided by 125 equals 12 mLs per dose. Okay. Number 10. Phenobarb, 60Q12. There's our elixir, daily dosage. What is the safe and therapeutic single dose range? So, minimum milligrams per dose is going to be 4 milligrams per kilogram per day. And 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. I know I could have been nicer and made more of these and given you the kilograms, but I didn't. 55 pounds. All right. What we need here. Day, we know that 1 day, to get rid of that, is 2 doses. Right? Day, dose. 4 times 55 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 50 milligrams per dose. Minimum. Max is 6 milligrams per kilogram per day. Day, 2 doses. Sorry, I'm sloppy there. 6 times 55 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 75 milligrams per dose. Our order is for 60, so we're within range, yes. If so, how many milliliters will the nurse administer? So how many milliliters per dose? We know 5 mLs is 20 milligrams. And 60 milligrams per dose. We have 5 times 60 divided by 20 equals 15 milliliters per dose. All right. All right, we're halfway there. Okay. That's funny. I didn't even notice that I made very similar questions there. Differences in the numbers, but same drug. Okay. Amoxicillin. Let's see. What's the safe and therapeutic single dose range for this child? So we want to know again, milligrams per dose. We have a range of 25 to 50 milligrams per kilogram per day. So 25 milligrams per kilogram per day. And are weighted in pounds. Oh, let's see. Oop, I did it. Oops, I did it again. I want to skip a step, don't I? And 1 day is 4 doses. Because we're Q6 hours, that's 4 doses per day. All right. 25 times 44 divided by 2.2 divided by 4 is 125 milligrams per dose minimum. And max is 50 milligrams per kilogram per day. Now, I realize I could do this and say, well, 50 is double of 25, so I can look at I could eyeball this and say, well, 250 is going to be our max, right? I mean, we know that's what we're going to come out with. But doing these problems, as I've said repeatedly, I know you're sick of hearing it, but all of your work has to be shown. So we can't just eyeball it and say what it is. We have to show it. Even when we're just practicing. Still want to do it right. Okay, so 50 times 44 divided by 2.2 divided by 4 equals, well, lo and behold, it's 250 milligrams per dose. Okay, so there's our safe range. And our order is for amoxicillin 500 POQ6. So I'm going to say nope. Out of range. No. I'm not gonna administer any capsules because it's not a safe dose. So I'm gonna call my provider and say, hey, I figured out, because I took Miss Evans's class in nursing school, so I'm really good at dosage and figuring out math problems, nursing math, pharmaceutical mathematics. This is not safe. Okay, so we have cephalexin, 300 milligrams POQ8. I'm really, if you're in my class, you know I recently had a knee replacement, and I promise you I'm not on any pain medication other than Tylenol and diclofenac, which is an NSAID. I think the sun's getting to me. Sorry. All right, 300 every 8, 34 pounds. How many milligrams per kilogram per 24 hours is a child receiving? So what are we getting here? Milligrams per kilogram per day is our kiddo getting? Well, we're getting 300 milligrams per dose. And I need to get rid of dose, and I need day in the denominator. So I'm going to put for Q8 hours. So if we're getting 3 doses per day, right? So that gives us day, cancels out doses. I need kilograms in the denominator. My weight's in pounds. I know I'm going to need to convert. And I got pounds hanging out there, so get rid of pounds equals, all right, piece of cake this time around, right? 300 times 3 times 2.2 divided by 34 is 58.2 milligrams per kilogram per day. So this is what our kid is getting. Now, is that safe? Well, here's our safe range per day. So yeah, we're good. We're falling in that range. How many milliliters will the nurse administer? So part 2, milliliters per dose. We know that 5 mLs is 125 milligrams, and we have 300 milligrams per dose. We have 5 times 300 divided by 125 is 12 mLs per dose. All right. Oh my gosh, did you see that? A hummingbird just like flew right by my head. Oh, that's one thing about sitting out here. That's usually the most noise that I hear out here on the deck is the hummingbirds. It sounds like bees. Ooh, speaking of bees. Wait. Okay. Morphine. I am stat for this child. And there's our safe and therapeutic dosage range. So what's our safe and therapeutic dosage range? Milligrams per dose. All right, 0.1 milligram per kilogram per dose minimum. And 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Our kiddo weighs 78 pounds. Pounds, kilogram. Dose is already there. So we've got 0.1 times 78 divided by 2.2, 3.5 milligrams per dose, minimum. Max milligrams per dose is 0.2. I know, again, I could do this in my head, but I'm not going to. Don't you be tempted to do it either. Okay, 0.2 times 78 divided by 2.2 equals 7.1 milligrams per dose. All right, so there's our therapeutic range. We have an order for 4 milligrams, so we fall within range. So yes, the order is safe. And if yes, how many milliliters will the nurse administer? Do that over here. So milliliters per dose is going to be 1 ml is 15 milligrams. We have 4 milligrams per, that really was supposed to be an M, per dose. 4 divided by 15 is 0.27 mLs per dose. 15 and, yeah, 15 per. That looked a little low to me, but you know, when you get an answer and you see it and you're like, I don't know, does that look right or not? Sometimes it's really blatantly obvious, but this looked a little bit low to me, so I just eyeballed, oh, dang it. So I just eyeballed it. Well, 15 milligrams per milliliter, yeah, it's going to be low since we're only given 4. So, all right. So our child has a fever, needs acetaminophen. There's our dose range. There's our availability. What's a safe and therapeutic dose range? So minimum milligram per dose. Minimum is 10 milligrams per kilogram per dose. You see this one's in per dose, not per day. We have milligram, we have dose, all we need is kilograms. We need kilograms in the denominator and our weights in pounds. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain cramp. No, we need dose. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Milligrams per dose, I need to get rid of kilograms. Oh, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. I am indeed human. You guys knew that already. Pounds, kilogram leaves us with milligrams per dose. Oy vey. 10 times 62 divided by 2.2 equals 281.8 milligrams per dose. Remember, when you take an exams, always box your answers. Always start out with what you're looking for, and make sure you label every single component, except for that one that goes under the pounds. Make sure you put all your unit labels on everything. So you will get marked incorrect. Doesn't matter if all your numbers are right. If you're missing labels, you're done for. Done for. You'll get it wrong. All right, here's our maths. 15 milligrams per kilogram per dose. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. 62 pounds. 15 times 62 divided by 2.2 equals 422.7 milligrams per dose. Okay, so there's our therapeutic range. We have an order for, what was it? Oh, how many milliliters are needed for this range? Okay, I forgot, they didn't give us a dose. Okay, so how much can we give? We can give anywhere between, this is another little brain tease. So minimum milliliters per dose. If we're going to give, here's what we have is 5 milliliters is 160 milligrams. If we're going to give minimum, we're going to give this much, 281.8 milligrams per dose. So 5 times 281.8 divided by 160 equals 8.8 milliliters per dose. And max would be I know I'm getting a little sloppy here. 422.7. Forgot I was going to need so much room on this one. All right, 5 times 422.7 divided by 160 equals 13.2 mLs per dose. Okay. So that's part 2 of our question. How many milliliters are needed for this range? Well, we need between 8.8 and 13.2 milliliters per dose. All right. Thought I'd throw a little easy one in here. Prescribed order is 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter of normal saline to run over 16 hours. What rate is needed to deliver the ordered fluid? So we want to know how many milliliters per hour are we going to run this at? We have 1,000 milliliters in 16 hours. That's it. 1,000 divided by 16 is 62.5 mLs per hour. All right, so did anybody look at that question and go, this looks too easy, what am I missing? Nope, you're not missing anything. That's it. Okay, we have clarithromycin, 300 twice a day. There's our weight. Recommended dosage. What's our safe and therapeutic dosage for this child? Is we want to know how many milligrams per dose. We can give 15 milligrams per kilogram per day. And it's going to be twice daily doses divided Q12, and that's what our order's for too, so that's helpful. 1 kilograms, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, and 92 pounds. Pounds, kilogram. 1 day is 2 doses. $15 times 92 divided by 2.2 divided by 2 equals 313.6 milligrams per dose. Our order is for 300 milligrams per dose, so we are in, we have a safe dose, so that's good. How many milliliters will we administer? So milliliters per dose. And in 5 mLs, we have 125 milligrams. We have 300 milligrams per dose. 5 times 300 divided by 125 is 12 milliliters per dose. Okay. 17. Benko 650 Q6 hours. There's our range. How many milligrams per kilogram per 24 hours is the patient receiving? Well, patient is getting 650 milligrams per dose. And let's see, I need kilograms in the denominator. So 2.2 pounds is 1 kilogram. Okay, I've got kilograms. Need to get rid of pounds. 96 pounds. Pounds, and I need day. I know that I've got 4 doses in a day. Got dose down here. I need to get rid of that. So I've got 4 doses per day. That canceled out doses, left me with day. All right, we're good to go. 650 times 2.2 times 4 divided by 96 equals 59.6 milligrams per kids next door per day. I was like, what is that noise? It's a child. Okay, so that's our milligrams per kilogram per day that the patient is receiving is 59.6. That falls within our safe and therapeutic range, so yes. Okay, Cefaclor 300. Maximum dose is 2 grams in 24 hours. How many milligrams per kilogram per 24 hours is the patient receiving? If you guys can figure these out, you can do anything. We have 300 milligrams per dose. Kilograms. Gotta make sure her weight was in pounds. 2.2 pounds is per kilogram. That's a day. Let's see, we have 3 doses in 1 day. Dose, day. There we go. All right, so our patient is receiving 300 times 2.2 times 3 divided by 95. Patient is getting 20.8 milligrams per kilogram per day. And here's our safe range. So is this a safe and therapeutic dosage for this patient? Yes. 20.8 milligrams per kilogram per day falls between 20 and 40 milligrams per kilogram per day. Let's see. Maximum dosage. Wait a minute. Let's see. There's another little part to this. We've got a maximum dose. All right, hang on. Let's make sure. So if we're getting 20.8 milligrams per kilogram per day, we're getting 300 milligrams PO Q8 hours. I want to know how many milligrams per day, because we have, actually I want to know how many grams per day. We have a max, daily max. So how many grams per day is my patient getting? Let's figure that out. If my patient is getting 300 milligrams per dose, I need to convert that to grams. Crap. Start over there. I'm going to start out with my numerator, grams. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. My patient is getting 300 milligrams per dose. All right, milligram, grams. I need day. I've got 3 doses per day. Okay, doses cancel out. Then, what? 300 times 3 divided by 1,000 equals 0.9 grams per day. Okay, when we've got that daily mix, we need to know how much we're getting per day as well as how much we're getting per dose. So so we're good. Our max is 2 grams in a day. Yeah, we're well under that. All right, so patient is to receive 150 milliliters of whole blood over 3 hours. We're using a micro drip tubing. How many drops per minute are needed? So we want to know drops per minute. We're going to start out with drops. We know that we've got 60 drops per. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, my brain is not functioning. 60 drops per ml. And we have 150 mLs in 3 hours. And 1 hour is 60 minutes. All right, so we have drops. Milliliters cancel out, hours cancel out. I've got minutes. All right, got it all covered, right? 60 times 150 divided by 3 divided by 60 equals 50 drops per minute. Okay. So 50 drops per minute will get us 150 milliliters of blood over 3 hours. Now, that being said, that's a good math problem, something good to figure out, but do not hang your infant's blood without using a pump. Just saying. Use a pump for that blood. You don't want to accidentally dump that blood into your baby. So don't do it. Math-wise, correct. Practice-wise, not so much. All right. I'll see you back when for your presentation. We'll talk about it more. Okay, we've got cephalexin 500 Q6 hours for our kiddo. There's our capsules, recommended daily dosage. We've got a daily maximum. How many milligrams per kilogram per 24 hours is the child receiving? So milligrams per kilogram per day, and 500 milligrams per dose, and 2.2 pounds, 1 kilogram, 99 pounds, oops, 99 pounds. What do we need today? Let's see, and I need to get rid of dose, and I've got every 6 hours, so 4 doses per day. $500 4 divided by 99 equals 44.4 milligrams per kilogram per day. So that's what our patient is getting. It's safe. It's a little bit less than therapeutic range. Not too terribly less, but a little bit less, but definitely safe. If yes, how many capsules will you administer? Oh, I forgot we have a daily max. Let's figure that out first. Okay, our maximum dosage is not to exceed 2 grams in 24 hours. So how many grams per day is this child receiving? We're getting 500 milligrams. So I need to convert grams to milligrams. We're getting 500 milligrams per dose. And we're doing 4 doses per day. 500 times 4. Make sure I got everything per day. Yep. 500 times 4 divided by 1,000 equals 2 grams per day. Okay, so we're not to exceed 2 grams per 24 hours, so we're right on the money. So even though we're just slightly less, this is kind of what I was talking about before with, you know, depending on your weight, with the maximum daily dose, like we are slightly less than the dosage range, but we're right at maximum daily dose. So, and it's because of how much our patient weighs. That's what kind of throws us into that, you know, being a little bit on that therapeutic range. Okay, how many capsules will we administer? So let's figure that out. What happened there? All right, so caps per dose. All right, 1 cap is 250 milligrams. And well, we're giving 500 milligrams per dose. So we're going to give 2 caps per dose. All right, and on an easy one there. Okay, let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching. Good luck on your exams.